Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of our second case study on CalorieSecrets.net. Here we are back with CaseStudiesLounge.com. So thank you for checking this presentation out. Continuing from our previous discussion, I wanted to talk about how to set up an affiliate site correctly and some elements responsible for the success of outstanding affiliate sites. Today we start and continue on from the last time with the fifth reason I think CalorieSecrets has done well, and it's great to demonstrate what we have to discuss for this purpose. So, fifth of all, I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that ties in with the theme of this presentation, building an affiliate site correctly. The fastest way to do this is getting it right from the get-go, and here are decisions you're going to have to make and plan right from the start. Things like a site structure, writers, editorial schedule, monetization models, branding information, interaction with audience, the traffic plan, monetization schedule, and metrics, etc. All of these things must be considered and thought of before you even get started. And if you've got a site running and if you've kind of like not considered how you're going to do these things, you can just go through these factors one by one and see how you can integrate that within to your affiliate marketing endeavor or business, really. If you can do this right from the start, you're going to save yourself months of frustration and weariness. And this is what they call a great return on time invested, right? CalorieSecrets.net, I think it's really a great example of this. And in just popping the site into the Wayback Machine, right, you can see that the site's look hasn't actually changed very much since it started. Again, you can go to Wayback Machine, just Google Wayback Machine just to see what it's for. It shows you snapshots of sites from the very beginning of when they were registered, right? And you can see that writers, are fixed from the start, right? There are about like 5 main authors, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And it's frequently updated. They probably have scheduled. The site gets updated about 2 to 3 times a week. The monetization models are determined right off the bat. There's advertising and email promotions. These are the 2 main monetization models. And again, let's take a look at some screenshots. Again, 5 authors. Okay. This is probably, again, decided right from the beginning. There's no, hey there, do you want to write for me like after 3 months into doing the site? No, it's decided right from the beginning and it's set up. Obviously, you can add and you can change your, editorial schedule and calendar. But I think that for the purposes of just getting started, I think it's really important just to get all of these considered and thought out right from the beginning. And then we have look at the dates of these published posts. They're relatively frequent, okay? And that would be number 5. Okay, if you think about these things in advance, I think you're going to have a much easier time just growing your affiliate site and focusing on what's really important, which is driving traffic and converting the traffic into subscribers to your email list. So, 6th of all, interaction. I don't think that this is an easy thing to do, but once it passes a certain threshold, it can go viral via word-of-mouth marketing. And when talking about interaction, I mean one of 2 things. I mean on-site interaction in one part and off-site interaction on the other part. In the end, it's still, about talking and interacting with people, but the approach is slightly different for either medium. Here are a couple of ways you might try to encourage interaction. First of all, incentivize it. Not necessarily incentivize, but certainly use questions to kind of like ask for interactions. I mean, if you don't ask, if there's not really a very clear topic for discussion, then people just might not be as encouraged, I guess, to comment as if there's a very clear question. For example, at the end of the article, you might say, what are some ways that you do to achieve, this so and so objective, or what do you think of on this take? Do you agree with it? Or you can even comment first. Okay, this is another great way to encourage on-site interaction. You can comment first, so people don't feel like, oh, I'm the first person to comment, right? So this is especially true on new sites. On older sites where you already have like a common commenter base, I guess it's not really much of a problem. Commenter. Second of all, again, you really have to prompt it. This is why I use questions, thoughts. I'd love to hear from you at the end of each presentation. So, prompt it, ask for interaction, ask for comments. If your content is great, people will eventually comment, obviously assuming you've done your traffic strategies correctly. You might also want to have a video of you requesting comments. Again, just a very short video. And I think it makes it a lot more personal. It gives it a bit of a personal touch. And this is a bit of an advanced tactic. I don't use it, but I've seen certain sites that do, and to a great effect. You can perhaps create like a membership portion of the site that requires visitors to kind of like log in. And every time they visit, you can personalize the visit. Like similarly to how we use placeholders for, your autoresponder sequence, you can use it, to say, dear visitor, obviously replacing that placeholder with the visitor's name, welcome, and then you can kind of like show their geographic information, like with a flag or something, etc. And you can say, you left off, reading this post and all that. So again, you can really, really create lots of personalization in this. And via personalization, you can create great interaction. So that's that for on-site interaction. For off-site interaction, I think you can also, again, encourage comments or even incentivize them. And this time, it really is, an incentive type of thing. It's something like leave a comment and be eligible for a special prize draw, raffle draw, or whatnot. We want to interact frequently on these social media sites. Maybe at least 3 updates a week or something. If this is tough for you, the quickest and easiest way to do this is schedule them, using automation tools once during the weekend, and you should be ready to go. And just once per week, just check in with your social media status and just kind of like respond to comments. And I think that the key again is to be as personal as you possibly can. Some markets are more difficult, and others, are really easy. Like the case study we did last time on the dog supplies market, it was excellent because there was already really a market with dogs. There is a community with dogs, so it's very, very easy for you to become very personal because there are loads of photos and experiences and events you can share easily. So this is where you're gonna have to just try your best in different markets. And here's how I think of this site of CalorieSecrets. In terms of interaction, I don't think it's too great. It's a little blank for my tastes, I think. However, there are a lot of likes and shares, and I think that it does have a very solid audience base, as seen by the 12,000 plus audience fan base on its Facebook page. The reason I think it's not capping its potential is because it's a site that's only, again, it's young. It's only a little over a year old, and I truly believe that given a bit of time, it can become a true authority site. 7th of all, PPC. I think that PPC with AdWords or Ad Center with Bing or advertising with Yahoo, I think it is the undisputed quickest way to get traffic to your site out of any traffic methods. Literally, you pay, write an ad, have it approved, you get traffic instantly, snap. The question, however, is it an appropriate traffic strategy for your site? I think that for e-commerce, it is definitely appropriate because it's very well defined. People are, people who do e-commerce, people like, I'm talking about visitors in general, they are buyers. At least they have the mentality to shop. They are shoppers. And it's easy, I think, for an e-commerce site to have a really high quality score, even if you're starting out. because of the inherent nature of e-commerce, it's so clear cut, right? It's just exactly what people are looking for, and therefore, click-through rate goes up, and people click through ads, and eventually, that's exactly what Google wants. I think that you can, like, the better your ads are, the more relevant your site is, the better, the cheaper your clicks are going to become, because ultimately it all boils down to, just kind of like on a side note here, it all boils down to how people click on your ads. And because if more people click on it, Google makes more money. So it makes sense for Google to kind of like give better ads and more relevant landing pages, an opportunity to bid for lower prices to get more traffic. But you would make the argument that for affiliate sites, it might not be the most relevant form of traffic. Because, quite frankly, I just don't think it's the best, quote unquote, bang for the buck compared to other, more organic and more community-based approaches to growing your traffic. And this is the place you can't skimp over. You really can't. I don't really have a good example with this site, but I'll kind of like diverge and show you an example of another site, and you'll immediately see why it is so suitable for PPC. It is both a lead capture and a sales page. Easy to measure ROI. And here it goes. And this is actually a site called survivallife.com, and what it does it's in the survival type market. Remember the 2012 Mayan prophecy thing? That's kind of like what the site is about, just survival things. And this is, again, it's both an opt-in opportunity and it's a sales page. So this is very easy to measure the ROI of, and so it's great. So again, there's an e-commerce component in the page which makes it more suitable. The main message, I guess, I wanted to deliver is that I just don't think that there's any occasion in which you can justify sending direct PPC traffic to an affiliate site, period. Unless you can find a really good way to measure your ROI from it. Last but not least, I want to shed a bit of light to something which is kind of relevant, but not as directly relevant to what we have to say here. It doesn't mean it's less important, because it underlies the very foundation of, I think, success with online marketing. The story. And this is where I'll rant on a little bit about the story, I guess, which I think is just as important as the technical and marketing components of running a really successful site. Now, here are the stories of the 3 authors on the site. Okay, so you can kind of like pause the video and check them out. Here's the second one, and the third one. If you notice and observe, the common grounds between all of them is that they are all interested in fitness and health, and they actually have a background in it, right? And this is what Seth Godin once prescribed to as the intersection between passion and whether a market exists for it, or in other words, commercial viability. I think that internet marketing is great for making money, but it shouldn't just be about it. It can't, as a matter of fact, all be about making money. And quite frankly, it's difficult to make money doing something you absolutely hate and despise, regardless of its profitability, unless you have a large in-house team to handle the more dreary factors like content generation, web development, etc. So it works best if you have a really niche skill you can write about. So you know something about it, you're really passionate about it, and you can produce lots and lots of content in the weeks to come. I think that the advice of inventory your own skills doesn't always work, because there's not always going to be a market for these skills. However, when there is, the results can be pleasantly surprising, and you'll be very surprised as to how easy it then gets. Okay, compared to, as opposed to doing something in a market that you absolutely despise. Things like I guess. Oh, sorry, guys. I mean to say, on the other hand, if you don't really have, I guess, a niche skill, you're gonna have to work your way around some details that those who do have kind of like that story and the background and skill, etc., don't or won't really necessarily have a problem with. Things like a story, credibility, past experience, existing contacts, and um, a relationship with the community, and just general knowledge, specific knowledge about the market and how to position yourself, etc. They won't have these problems, but if you don't have that background, you will have to come up with, creative ways to get around these. And generally, it's tough. But the good news is that it is not impossible. So you can definitely work your way around that. And I think it's really important. I know that it sounds kind of vague, but every little decision you make in the process really counts. And I think that in the end of the day, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to build a list. And my point, however, is to do so, okay, upon the basis that you're doing this in a market that you really, really enjoy working with. So in the end, if you're doing that and you're building lists, you are doing great. Okay. And I think that you will get really, really good results. And I look forward to hearing stories from you guys. And I wish every one of you, the best, in your all your endeavors in the realm of online marketing. I hope that you guys will encounter a great deal of business success online. So anyway, that was a bit of a digression, but I do think it's really important, so I just had to put these slides in here. So that is all for today. Again, please visit www.kstudieslounge.com to download all of these resources in terms of the transcript, the PDF of this presentation, and a summary of everything we've covered during these two presentations. So if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, please drop me a line below, whether it be on YouTube or on kstudieslounge.com in the comment area. So thank you very much once again for checking this presentation out, and I look forward to be the person to deliver more information on these topics to you in the near future. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.